Hello, class. Today I'm going to talk about Ana Castillo and her book So Far From God. To give some quick background as to who Ana Castillo is, even though we already read Black Dove, so you should have a little bit of understanding for her and her writing style. But just a quick biography is that she's a poet, an essayist. She's even an editor, and she's also known for being an activist. She's a big free speech advocate, human rights. She has beliefs in a world without borders. Um, she got her bachelor's in Northwestern Illinois University and a master's at the University of Chicago, a PhD at the University of Bremen, Germany. And she also holds an honorary doctorate from Colby College. Um, she's also an advocate against censorship, and uh, she also believes in like this cultural exchange. She has shaped her views, and she has a lot of social commentary in her works, which you might have noticed in Black Dove. Um, she's also won multiple awards, and she's known for having like a rich storytelling ability. And she uses a lot of her Mexican heritage in her writing. And she's been writing since she was 9 years old. She was very active in the Chicano movement, and she uses some of her poetry to advance that and some of her political causes. Her first published volumes was in 1977, and then it was called Orto Canto, and then The Invitation in 1979, and Women Are Not Roses in 1984. Uh, she has she examines a lot of the themes in her poetry and some of her works that deal with like sadness and loneliness, and these are kind of wrapped up into that into a female perspective and a female's views, and she kind of portrays that a lot in her works. And this was kind of a big thing that she did with her poetry, and she has a lot of feminist messages within it, and I think she kind of portrayed that, and especially in her early works when she was kind of advocating for her certain social causes that she really cared about. She also, besides the feminist and ethical things, she also proposes a lot of political aspects that can help people towards their lives, and she also has a lot of spirituality in her beliefs. And that's all I really have to say for her biography. A lot of what I said was just off the top from after I read it, and some of what I just had some notes. So what I wanted to do for this project was kind of add some continuity to what we've already done. So I wanted to use the same author that we've already read, especially with Ana Castillo with Black Dove. I think it kind of worked. And then I also wanted to do something that kind of connected with the final project. So I read a book called So Far From God from Ana Castillo, and I thought it was good because it kind of connected to the class since we already read some works from her, and it also I could use it for my final project, so I can kind of gain some of that knowledge for both things. So for this, I'm just going to kind of do like a little bit of a review on her book, and I will say that when I first read it, it was a little surprising. Like the narration was much different from like the short stories and essays that were in Black Dove. Um, Her perspectives and her thoughts, and they definitely stand out. I think the narrator in there has like strong opinions, and it's a little unique from what I'm used to reading, and that was pretty cool. I like that aspect of it, and um, it's just a very different style. Like it was like the Black Dove was really realistic. It was down to earth. It was it was real life. It was memories of her real childhood and her mother, and some of the things like growing up in Chicago and going to Mexico and doing all these different things. Well, in this book, it's pretty much fiction. So it's nothing like that. It's in a fictional small town in New Mexico, and you kind of really get a real different feel from the storytelling. This is it drew me in. It was interesting and surprising. La Loca died, and I was like super shocked when when she came back to life. There's a lot of religious aspects in it too, with dealing with what's the word, like sainthood, I guess. It deals with her position in her town. She kind of deals with a lot of like racial issues. There's a lot of hardships throughout for Sophia, which is the mother, and then her four daughters. Um, there's a lot of like social change that she tries to implement when she becomes like the unofficial mayor of the town. I know it's kind of crazy, but I think that a lot of these aspects that kind of come in. There's a little bit of a roller coaster within the story. There's some really good commentary on social issues and prejudices, and there's some surprise, there's some twists and turns. To be honest, there were some slow portions within the book that it would kind of drone in about some of these perspectives of the daughters, or not perspectives, but some of these instances of the daughters, and I would kind of be uninterested in reading it for a while, but then it would eventually pick up. There was a lot of like crazy like magical realism in it. There's like premonitions, and there's like La Loca had like powers. I was surprised when she died again. I thought you know what I mean. So that kind of was a thing. Overall, I really like the book. I would recommend it, and I would even reread it. I think I wouldn't reread it anytime soon because a lot of the stuff that was first time reading that really engaged you wouldn't get that a second reading, and that's kind of the good things about it. But after a few years and reading other things, and I forget some of these things, I think I would go back and revisit it because I think it's a really good book. Um, and overall, that's pretty much my just review, I guess. I looked everywhere for the paper on what exactly I needed to do for this, and I didn't have it. I think it was under the course modules, and that kind of deletes after the module is over. So, but for me, I think this should check the block. I read the book, and here's a review of what the book was, and I kind of gave an overview of an autobiography, just a quick one on who Ana Castillo is, some of her views, some of her beliefs, and some of her education. So, thank you.